A lot of TV shows begin with the opinions of politicians. Well, here we start with public opinion, and we ask leaders and analysts to respond to what America thinks. My firm's latest polling shows that on the important issue of job creation, Americans aren't sure whether Mitt Romney or Barack Obama will do the better job. 47% trust the president more, 45% trust Romney more. We also find that people aren't sure what the best policy is in terms of job creation. 44% say the best thing the government could do is to cut spending. 40% say, no, we need new government programs to help fight unemployment. Here to discuss all of this with me today, my friend Bernard Whitman. He's a Democratic pollster. I think you've worked on 5 presidential campaigns, and he's got a book out, 52 Reasons to Vote for Obama. Welcome, Bernard.
Thanks, Scott.
And John Bramnick, the Republican leader in the New Jersey General Assembly. That's our state version of the House of Representatives. John, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
John, let me start with you. Mitt Romney says he's running for the White House. His private sector business experience is a reason to vote for him because he knows how to fix the economy and create jobs. How come we can't get that message across?
Well, let's make sure that we all understand that the president is very charismatic. He is a very good salesman. He's very good on his feet, and he's likable. Mitt Romney is probably, in terms of he had a television personality, less likable. But the reality is he's probably a better businessman, and in neutral, he's probably a better decision maker. To make that sale, that's a lot of work.
So you're saying it's really that Romney himself is what they're having a hard time selling?
I don't think there's any doubt about that, and I think that's true with the American public. You know, we love movie stars. We love movies, and we actually elect movie stars. It's sometimes hard to elect somebody who's a very carefully measured businessman who can make those kind of decisions. It's just harder to sell.
Now, Bernard, the president is a good salesman, great speaker. How come a plurality of people now say the best thing we can do to help create jobs is to cut government spending? That's not the message the president's been selling the last few years.
Well, I think part of it is the president has got to do a better job of getting out his record. And I think that Bill Clinton actually did the best job down in Charlotte last week of doing that. The fact is we've had 30 straight months of job growth. We've created 4.6 million new private sector jobs. This is during a period of time, by the way, that we have cut public sector employment by over 600,000 jobs. And if you compare that to what the president came into office with, shedding almost 800,000 jobs during a period in which President Bush actually added 1.7 million public sector jobs onto the government payroll. So I think that we have to do a better job, Democrats, of getting the message out. But I'd have to disagree with my friend John. It's not a matter of salesmanship. Mitt Romney did create a lot of jobs when he was in the private sector, mostly overseas in China and India. But in fact, his record as governor, he was 47th in job creation out of 50 states in Massachusetts. So I think that Mitt Romney has not only a sales problem, but he has a policy problem. His jobs simply don't create, his policies don't create jobs in the private sector when he's the chief executive of a state.
Yeah, most people, though, they know there's some problem in this economy. They can feel it. They can feel it with respect to employment of recent college graduates. They know there's something wrong. So then they have to make a determination. Who is Mitt Romney in neutral, and who is President Obama in neutral? In neutral, President Obama is much more of a person who deals with social issues. No question about that. Mitt Romney is somebody in neutral who is someone who's been actively involved in the economy. So if you can get the public to focus on what the most important issue is in America right now, they probably go with Mitt Romney in neutral.
But you know, listen, I love both of you guys saying, well, the problem is our side isn't getting their message out well enough. And you were right, Bernard. Bill Clinton gets the message out better than almost anybody. He was the rock star of the Charlotte Convention. But voters don't have confidence in either of these guys. I mean, we asked people which team would do a better job of creating an environment for private sector job growth. Would it be Barack Obama and the Democrats, Mitt Romney and the Republicans? And the results, only 39% think a Democratic sweep would help create more private sector jobs. Only 45% think a Republican victory would do that. So neither side has closed the sale. Again, why can't they do this?
I think that underscores really the fundamental weakness of Mitt Romney, because if 66% say job creation is #1, Obama is over Romney on who'd do a better job at creating jobs, 47 to 45. But the Republicans and Romney do, people trust more broadly, that says to me Mitt Romney is holding down the ticket, and he's at the top. So if he can't bring the ball over the goal line, I think that it's going to be a very tough time for him to actually get elected president on the most important issue.
Should Romney be running away with this right now? Should the Republicans have an easy victory this time around?
You know, the media takes so much time and it places so much attention on every minute part of the race that you can understand why people are confused. American public, they don't know who to trust anymore. They've lost confidence, I think, in politicians generally. So you can understand why there's all that confusion. Running away with the race, I don't even think the American media would allow anybody to run away with the race, because once you start to get ahead, it seems as if there's an attack on the person who's in the lead. So,
is it really that the media is picking on whoever gets ahead, and that's why this thing tightens up? Or, Bernard, is it the fundamentals? I mean, let's face it, this race is close.
It's very close. I think it does come down to the fundamentals, and I actually think it comes down to the fundamentals of trust. Most of the polls in recent months have shown that President Obama is somewhat more trustworthy than Mitt Romney. And I think at the end of the day, when voters go into the voting booth and they really aren't certain exactly who to trust and whose policies are the best because they don't know the intricacies of government and how all that stuff ultimately plays out, I think a slightly larger number are going to pull the lever for Obama because they have a basic closer identification and comfort and trust level with him. And that's ultimately why I believe that Obama will win the presidency.
Mitt Romney went through a grueling primary. And when you go through that many debates with other Republicans, it creates a problem. And I think Mitt Romney is recovering from a long, tough primary where the president didn't have to go through that.
Now, but are we in a situation, though, when we talk about fundamentals, is it really now all about the economy and job creation? There have been some events in the Middle East that are unnerving to people. Will these other factors come into play?
I think they are on the margin. And here's where, again, I think that the president has a bit of an advantage. You know, Romney getting out in front on this Libya thing and politicizing the Libya thing, I think causes people some concern. His foreign trip where he insulted the British, made some gaffes in Poland and Israel, I think causes some problems. And the baggage associated with Aiken and so forth, I think that that's going to hurt the Republicans.
At the end of the day, when a person walks in there, they go, first they vote pocketbook. I think that's historic. And second, they go, should we give this other guy a chance? Things are not really going in the right direction now. And I think polling says that most Americans believe we're on the wrong track. So at the end of the day, if that message can be put out there, I think Mitt Romney wins.
So if it's all about Barack Obama, you think Mitt Romney wins. If it's a choice, you think Barack Obama wins. We're going to be back and discuss the generation gap in American politics right after this.